Hello guys, today we will cover national symbols. In which year was Jana Gana Mana adopted as the national anthem of India? 1950. The Constituent Assembly accepted Jana Gana Mana as national anthem of India on 24th January 1950. A formal rendition of national anthem takes 52 seconds. When the Hindi version of national anthem Jana Gana Mana was adopted by the Constituent Assembly of India, 24 January 1950. The song Janaganaman, composed originally in Bengali by Rabindranath Tagore, was adopted in its Hindi version by the Constituent Assembly as the national anthem of India on 24th January 1950. It was first sung on 27th December 1911 at the Calcutta session of Indian National Congress. A complete or formal rendition of national anthem takes 52 seconds. Janaganaman is the national anthem of India and its formal rendition takes approximately 52 seconds, while a shortened version consisting of the first and last lines takes 20 seconds to play. The state emblem was adopted by Government of India on 26 January 1950. The state emblem, which is extracted from the Ashoka pillar at Sarnath, Varanasi, was adopted by the Government of India on 26 January 1950. When did the Constituent Assembly adopted the national flag? 22 July 1947. The national flag of India was adopted during the fourth session of Constituent Assembly on 22 July 1947. Consider the following statements. The design of national flag was adopted by the Constituent Assembly of India on 22nd July 1947. The wheel in national flag has 21 spokes. The ratio of the width of national flag to its length is 3 is to 4. 2 and 3 are incorrect because national flag has 24 spokes and it is in the ratio of 2 is to 3, not 3 is to 4. So option B, 1 only is correct. The design of national flag was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on 22 July 1947. Therefore, statement 1 is correct. There are 24 spokes in the wheel and width to length ratio is 2 is to 3. Indian national flag was adopted by Constituent Assembly on which date? 22 July 1947. The Constituent Assembly of India adopted the national flag of India on 22nd July 1947. The national flag has 24 spokes in the wheel, Ashoka Chakra in the center, and the proportion of the length to the width is 3 is to 2. On which of the following dates Constituent Assembly of India adopted the national flag? 22 July 1947. The national On which day the design of national flag of India was adopted? B. July 22, 1947. Consider the following statements in respect of national flag of India according to the Flag Code of India 2002. One of the standard sizes of national flag of India is 600 mm to 400 millimeter. Statement 2. The ratio of the length to the height of the flag shall be 3 is to 2. So statement 1 is incorrect while 2 is correct. Flag Code of India 2002 allowed the unrestricted display of tricolor as long as the honor and dignity of the flag was being respected. It takes effect from July 26, 2002. For the sake of convenience, it is divided into three parts. 1. General description of the tricolor. 2. Rules on the display of the flag by public and private bodies and educational institutions. 3. Rules for the display of the flag by governments and government bodies. According to the provision of the code, national flag shall be rectangular in shape and the ratio of the length to the height of the flag shall be 3 is to 2. The total number of spokes in the national flag of India is 24. The national India's national animal is tiger. Tiger and its scientific name is Panthera tigris is the national animal of India. To improve the decreasing population and to protect tigers, Tiger Conservation Project was started in April 1973. Which is the national flower of India? Lotus. Lotus is the national flower of India and is the emblem of Indian culture. Its scientific name is Nelumbo nucifera. National bird of India is peacock. The national bird of India is Indian peacock. Its scientific name is Pavo cristatus. It is notable that banyan is the national tree, mango is the national fruit, Satyamev Jayate is the national motto taken from Mundaka Upanishad and inscribed in the script at the base of national emblem, which has been adopted from the lion capital of Ashoka, erected at Sarnath, Varanasi. The Ganges River dolphin is the national aquatic animal of India. What does the wheel of Indian national flag symbolize? Justice. The wheel on a white strip of national flag having 24 spokes is adopted from the Ashoka Chakra, which is the depiction of Dharma Chakra represented by 24 spokes. It symbolizes the wheel of law. With reference to national calendar, which of the following statements are correct? The national calendar of India is based on Vikram era. The national calendar is adopted from 26 January 1950. Both statements are incorrect because the national calendar of India is based on Saka era. The first month of which is Chaitra, it was adopted on 22 March 1957. So our next topic is states and union territories. Consider the following statements about a union and its territories. India comprises 28 states and 8 union territories. Correct. India, a union of states, is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic with a parliamentary system of government. Both statements are correct. India, a union of states, is a sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic with a parliamentary system of government. Significantly, the president is the constitutional head of the executive of the union. There are 28 states and 8 union territories in the country. By which name or names is our country mentioned in the constitution? Bharat and India. Article 1 of the Constitution of India defines the name and territory of the union as India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. The states and territories thereof shall be as specified in the first schedule. According to Article 1 of Indian Constitution, India is a union of states. Option D is correct. According to Article 1 of Indian Constitution, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. The territory of India shall comprise one state and two union territories, three such other territories as may be acquired. The names and territories of the states have been specified in the first schedule. Indian Parliament has the power to create a new state under which of the following constitutional provisions? Article 3. Article 3 of Indian Constitution empowers the Parliament to form a new state by separation of territory from any state or by uniting two or more states or parts of states. Indian Parliament, under the constitutional provisions of Article 2, has the power of admission or establishment of new states. The power to carve out a new state is vested in the Parliament. Article 2 of Indian Constitution provides that the Parliament may by law admit into union or establish new states. According to Article 3 of Indian Constitution, the Parliament may form a new state by separating two states or by uniting states. The Parliament can increase or diminish the area of any state or can alter the boundary and name of the state. Which of the following is empowered to alter the boundaries of states under the Constitution of India? Parliament. Who among the following has the executive power to admit a state in the union or establish new states? Parliament. Power to include or admit any state into Union of India is given to the Parliament. Which of one of the following is not correct in the matter of formation of new states? Parliament may by law form a new state. Correct. Such law shall contain provisions for the amendment of the fourth schedule and fourth schedule of the Constitution. Correct. Such law shall be deemed to be an amendment of the Constitution for the purpose of Article 360. It is incorrect because it is not come under the Article 368. No bill for enacting such law shall be introduced in the Parliament unless it has been referred to the legislature of states whose areas, boundaries, or name is affected. Correct. So, option C is right. The Parliament may, by law, with a simple majority, form a new state, and no special procedure, as in the case of an amendment to the Constitution, is required. According to Article 4, subsection 2, such law shall not be deemed to be an amendment to the Constitution for the purpose of Article 368. Creation of a new state requires a simple majority for constitutional amendment. Parliament may form new state or alter the boundaries, etc., of existing states through a simple majority in the ordinary legislative process. No such law shall be deemed to be an amendment of the Constitution for the purpose of Article 368. A bill for purpose of creating a new state in India must be passed by a simple majority in the parliament. So option B is correct. India is not a union. Union Parliament has the power to alter the area, boundary, and name of any state even without its consent. Option 2 is correct. So D, A is false, but R is true is correct. Article 1 of the Constitution provides that India shall be a union of states. Article 3 of Indian Constitution provides that Parliament has the power to form a new state by separation of territory from any state or by uniting two or more states, increase the area of any state, diminish the area of any state, alter the boundaries of any state, alter the name of any states. The consent of the dash is not is required for alternating its boundaries according to the constitutional provisions. Option D is correct because its consent is not required. Article 3 authorizes the parliament to form new states or alter the areas, boundaries, names of existing states without the state's consent. A bill contemplating the above changes can be introduced in the parliament only with prior recommendation of the president, and before recommending the bill, the president has to refer the same to the state legislature concerned for expressing its views within a specified period. Note that the president or parliament is not bound by the views of the state legislature and may either accept or reject them, even if the views are received in time. Given below are two statements, one is labeled as assertion and other as reason. The president can recommend to the parliament to change the boundary of any state, alter after seeking views of the concerned legislature of that state on the subject within a specified period. It is not mandatory for the president to accept the proposal of the concerned state legislature. So both statements are true, but second statement does not define the statement 1. So option B is correct. According to Article 3 of Indian Constitution, Parliament of India can form new states by separation of a territory from any state. The Parliament has a power to increase or decrease the area of a state. It can diminish the area of the state and alter the boundaries. The name of the state can also be changed using powers given by Article 3. The President can recommend to the Parliament to change the boundary of any state after seeking the views of the concerned legislature of that state on the subject within a specified period. Although it is not mandatory for the President to accept the proposal of the concerned state legislature. If the state legislature does not provide its views on the subject within a period determined by the President, then also the bill can be presented in the Parliament. Which one of the following pairs is not correctly matched? Equality before law, guarantee to both citizens and non-citizens, equality of opportunity in public employment, guaranteed only to Indian citizen, creating a new state, power of parliament, altering the name of the state. It is also the power of parliament, not state legislature. So option D is correct. According to Article 3 of the Constitution, Parliament may by law form new states, and alter the area, boundaries, or name of any existing state. With respect to the alteration of area, boundary, or name of a state, it is expected from the concerned state legislature to express its views on the issue under the provision of Article 3, but the views expressed by the state legislature are not binding on the parliament. Therefore, altering the name of a state is not a power of the state legislature, but it is the power of parliament. Admission or establishment of new states is the power of the parliament under Article 2 of the Constitution. The Article 14 of the Constitution ensures equality before the law to all persons, citizens and non citizens both, whereas equality of opportunity in matters of public employment is ensured for the Indian citizens only under Article 16 of the Constitution. Which among the following is not a constitutional provision for the formation of new state? A state may include a union territory. So, under Article 3 of the Indian Constitution, only Parliament has been given the power to increase the area of any state, diminish the area of any state, alter the boundaries of any state, and alter the name of any state. No state has the authority to include any territory by itself. Another thing is worth notice that explanation 1 of Article 3 says that in this article, in clause A to E, state includes a union territory, but in the provision, state does not include a union territory. Thus, all options are correct, but D is wrong. Which of the following is not possible by a law of parliament under Article 3 of the Constitution? So, under Article 3, formation of new states, alteration of areas of states, and alteration of boundaries of states takes place. But admission of new states comes under Article 2, not under Article 3. So, option D is correct. Provisions for the formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries, or names of existing states comes under Article 3. According to this article, Parliament may by law form a new state by separation of territory from any state, or by uniting two or more states or parts of states, or by uniting any territory to a part of any state. B. Increase the area of any state, diminish the area of any state, alter the boundaries of any state, alter the name of any state. Provision for admission or establishment of new states comes under Article 2 of Indian Constitution. Consider the following statement and answer using codes given below. The term Union of States has been used in the Constitution because Indian states have no right of separation. It is correct. Eskadhar Commission have given preference to administrative convenience rather language for reorganization of states. Correct. Congress committee including Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel, and Pattabhi Sitaramayya was not in favor of reorganization of states on the basis of language. It is also correct. So option D is right. All the above statements are correct. As per Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the states have no right to secede from the federation. In the chairmanship of S.K. Dhar, a commission was formed in 1948 to find the feasibility of the organization of states on linguistic basis. The commission rejected this and recommended the reorganization of states on the basis of administrative viability rather than linguistic affinity. In December 1948, a committee consisting of J.L. Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and P. Sitaramaiah was formed, known as JVP Committee, and the JVP Committee also rejected the linguistic basis for the reorganization of states. With reference to the federal system in India, which of the following statements are correct? States have no right to secede from the Union under the Constitution of India. Correct. Just advocacy of secession will have the protection of freedom of expression. It is wrong. The state in India have no right to territorial integrity. The parliament can by unilateral action change the area, boundaries, or name of any state. It requires only a simple majority for this. Article 19.1 guarantees to all citizens the six rights to freedom of speech and expression, to assemble peaceably and without arms, to form associations or unions and cooperative societies, to move freely throughout the territory of India, to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India, to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade, or business. But the state can impose reasonable restrictions on the enjoyment of these rights only on the grounds mentioned in the Article 19, subsection 2 itself, and not on any other grounds. So, even just advocacy of secession is subject to reasonable restrictions. How many states and UTs did the States Reorganization Commission created in 1956? 14 states and 6 union territories. On the recommendation of Fazl Ali Commission, which was constituted for the reorganization of the states after independence, 14 states and 6 union territories was formed on November 1, 1956. Andhra Pradesh was the first state to be formed on the linguistic basis on 1 October 1953. How many states and union territories were created according to the States Organization Act 1956? 14 states and 6 union territories. How many states and UTs were established by 1956 State Restructuring Act? A. 14 states and 6 union territories. How many states and UTs are there in India? None of the above. At the time of the question asked, there were 28 states and 7 union territories. Telangana became the 29th state of Union of India on 2nd June 2014. Again, with the formation of UTs of Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh, the number of states and UTs in India were 28 and 9 again. 9. Again, with the merger of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, currently the number of states and UTs in India is 28 states and 8 union territories. The number of Indian states after the formation of Telangana will be 28. How many UTs are there in India? Presently, 8. Which of the following is not a UT? Goa is not a UT, it is a state. The first schedule of constitution lists the names of the UTs and states of India. Currently, there are 28 states and 8 union territories. In the given option, Goa is the only state. Delhi is a union territory. Delhi is a UT according to first schedule of the constitution. Officially, it is also known as National Capital Region and has been given a special status among the UTs by 69th Amendment Act 1991, by which constitutional amendment Delhi was given the status of NCR. 69th Amendment. Match the following UTs with their years of formation. Lakshadweep was formed in 1956, Daman and Diu 1962, Chandigarh 1966, Dadar and Nagar Haveli in 1961. Note: since 26 January 2020, both Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu have been integrated. Which one of the following pairs is not correctly matched in terms of the power of President of India to make regulation for certain UTs under Article 240 of the Indian Constitution? Option C, Puducherry. Article 240 deals with the power of President to make regulations for certain UTs. The President may make regulation for the peace and good governance of the Union Territory of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, Dadar and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu. Article 240 subsection 1E deals with Puducherry. In the given option, Puducherry is mentioned in Article 241C, which is wrong. At present, Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu have formed a single UT under Article 241C through Dadar and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu merger of UT Act 2019, while Article 241D has been repealed. The President has power to make regulations regarding which of the following? Dadar and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, and Puducherry. Goa and Daman and Diu is wrong. The Article 240 of Indian Constitution provides the power to the President to make regulations for certain UTs. These UTs are the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, and Daman and Diu, and Puducherry. The regulations made by President aim for peace, progress, and good governance of UTs. Goa is a state of India and not a UT of India. Which one of the following statements is incorrect? Goa attained full statehood in 1987. Correct. Diu is an island in Gulf of Khambat. Correct. Daman and Diu were separated from Goa by 56th Amendment of the Constitution of India. Right. Dadar and Nagar Haveli were under French colonial rule under till 1954. It is wrong. It is because Dadar and Nagar Haveli were under the Portuguese rule, not French rule. The Portuguese rule lasted until 1954 when Dadar and Nagar Haveli were occupied by supporters of the Indian Union. Sikkim became a state of India under Article 35 Amendment. Sikkim, the northeastern state of India, became the 22nd state by the 36th Amendment of the Constitution in 1975. In 1974, the Sikkim Assembly passed the Government of Sikkim Act 1974, which paved the way for setting up the first ever responsible government in Sikkim and sought Sikkim's representation in political institutions of India. India also passed the 35th Amendment Act 1974, which inserted a new Article 2A Sikkim to be associate state, and the 36th Amendment Act 1975 integrated Sikkim as a fully fledged state of India, 22nd state. Because the 36th Amendment is not in the given options, therefore, the 35th Amendment will be the correct answer. Sikkim became a new state by the 36th Amendment of the Constitution, option D. Sikkim was included a full-fledged state 22nd in the first schedule of the Constitution of India by the 36th Constitutional Amendment. The 35th Constitutional Amendment sought to provide for the terms and conditions of association of Sikkim with the Union. Which of the following statements about Sikkim are true? It became an integral part of India in 1975. Yes. It is considered as a botanist paradise. Yes. Its population is mainly made up of Lepchas. Yes. Option D is correct. By 36th Amendment of the Constitution 1975, Sikkim became an integral part of India. This region is blessed with the biodiversity and is considered the paradise of botanists because it comes under Himalayan hotspot. Natives of this region are Lepchas, Bhutias, and Nepalis. Sikkim has become a full-fledged state of Union of India in 1975. Option B is correct. Sikkim became the 22nd state of India through the Constitution 36th Amendment Act 1975. The Act provides that the Legislative Assembly of Sikkim shall consist of not less than 32 members and that the Assembly of Sikkim formed the result of the elections held in Sikkim in April 1974 with 32 members elected in the said elections. Herein, after referral to as sitting members, shall be deemed to be Legislative Assembly of the State of Sikkim duly constituted under the Constitution. Which of the following constitutional amendments integrated Sikkim as a full-fledged state of Indian Union? 36th. Mizoram has been granted the status of a state by which of the following constitutional amendment? 53. A memorandum of settlement on Mizoram was signed by Government of India and the Government of Mizoram on 30th June 1986. Mizoram was granted the status of a state by the 53rd Amendment Act and formation of Mizoram takes place on 20th February 1987. Consider the following payouts. State Himachal Pradesh. The capital is named after Pradesh, a fort, and the state has two national parks. Nagaland. The state came into existence on the basis of Constitutional Amendment Act. Tripura, initially a Part C state, it became a centrally administered territory with the reorganization of states in 1956 and later attained the status of a full-fledged state. How many of the above pairs are correctly matched? So option B is correct. Only two statements are correct. The capital of Arunachal Pradesh is Itanagar and it is named after the Eta fort, a historic fort whose name means a fort of bricks. According to the latest official data, Arunachal Pradesh has only two national parks, Namdapha National Park and Mauling National Park. Nagaland came into existence through an ordinary act of parliament, the State of Nagaland Act 1962, not through a Constitution Amendment Act. Therefore, pair 2 is incorrect. After the initial merger, Tripura was a Part C state, and after the State Reorganization Act 1956, it became a UT. After Northeastern Areas Reorganization Act 1971, Tripura attained full statehood with effect from 21 January 1972. A separate Varanchal state carved out of Bihar can be made possible by none of these. The power to form a new state by separation of territory from any state has been given to Parliament under Article 3 of the Constitution. Consider the formation of following states and arrange these in chronological order. So, Haryana, created in the year 1961 on November 1, Goa 1987 May 30, Jharkhand 2000 November 15, Telangana 2014 on June 2. Which of the following is correct chronological order of the formation of the following Indian states? So option B, Sikkim 1975, Arunachal Pradesh 1987, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand in 2000, but Chhattisgarh on 1 November and Jharkhand on 15 November. So Sikkim became a part of Indian Republic on 16 May 1975. The formation year of Arunachal Pradesh is 1987. Chhattisgarh was formed on 1 November 2000, whereas Jharkhand was formed on 15 November 2000 by carving out the southern part of Bihar. Which one of the following is correct chronologically order of formation of following states as full states of Indian Union? Option B is correct. Nagaland, Haryana, Sikkim, and Arunachal Pradesh. Nagaland was formed in 1963, Haryana in 1966, Sikkim in 1975, and Arunachal Pradesh in 1987. Chhattisgarh state came into existence on 1 November 2000. Uttarakhand state was created in the year 2000. On November 9, 2000, the state of Uttarakhand was formed as the 27th state of India. In which year did the state Jharkhand come into existence? Year 2000. Option C is correct. The following states were created after 1960. Arrange them in ascending chronological order of their formation. Option C is correct. Nagaland was formed in 1963, Haryana 1966, Meghalaya 1972, Sikkim 1975. Identify the correct chronological order in which the following states were created from the code given below. So option B is correct. Andhra Pradesh 1953, Haryana 1966, Himachal Pradesh 1971, Sikkim 1975. The correct sequence of formation of the following states in ascending order is A. Nagaland was formed in 1963, Meghalaya 1972, Sikkim 1975, Arunachal Pradesh 1987. The correct sequence of the formation of the following states in descending order is option D. Rajasthan was formed in 1958, Maharashtra 1960, Haryana in 1966. Match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct answer. So, Nagaland was formed in 1963, Jharkhand was formed in 2000, Telangana was in 2014, and Sikkim 1975. Consider the formation of following states of India and arrange them in correct chronological order starting from earliest to the last. Option C is correct. Nagaland was formed in 1963, Punjab in 1966, Sikkim in 1975, and Arunachal Pradesh in 1987. Which of the following states of India was formed in 1948? When the question is asked for the formation of states, so none of the options are correct in this regard. West Bengal, Punjab, and Assam became provinces on 15th August 1947, and became state on 26 January 1950. Himachal Pradesh became a province on 15 April 1948 and a state on 25 January 1971. One of the following statements is incorrect. Point out. The state of Mysore was renamed as Tamil Nadu is incorrect because Goa was separated from Daman and Diu. The state of Bombay was split into Gujarat and Maharashtra. Himachal Pradesh was previously in the state list of UTs are correct because the state of Mysore was renamed as Karnataka. The Commission for a Reorganization of States on the basis of language was established in Commission for the Reorganization of States on the basis of language was established on 29 December 1953. The commission submitted its report on 30th September 1955. Fazal Ali was the chairman of the commission and K.M. Panikkar and H.N. Kunjuru were its members. On the recommendation of commission's report, the State Reorganization Act 1956 was passed. Andhra Pradesh in 1953 was the first state established on linguistic basis. Who among the following were the members of Fazal Ali Commission? K.M. Panikkar and H.N. Kunjuru. 2 and 4 are correct. So option B are correct is correct. The Fazal Ali Commission, States Reorganization Commission 1953 was chaired by Justice Syed Fazal Ali and its members were K.M. Panikkar and H.N. Kunjuru. K.T. Shah and B. Pattabi Sitaramaiah were not members of this commission. Which of the following were the members of State Reorganization Commission formed by Indian government in August 1953? Justice Fazal Ali, K.M. Panikkar and Hridaynath Kunjuru. 2, 3, 4. So option C is correct. After the intensification of demand for the creation of states on the linguistic basis, the Government of India appointed the States Reorganization Commission under chairmanship of Fazal Ali. The two members were K.M. Panikkar and H.N. Kunjuru to re-examine the whole demand. It submitted its report in September 1955 and broadly accepted language as the basis of reorganization of states, but rejected the theory of one language, one state, and suggested the abolition of fourfold classification of states and UTs. Government of India, while accepting these recommendations with certain modifications, enacted the State Reorganization Act 1956 and the 7th Constitutional Amendment Act 1956. The Act abolished the distinctions among Part A, Part B, and Part C states provided by the original Constitution. As a result, 14 states and 6 union territories were created on November 1, 1956. Who among the following was not the member of Reorganization Commission which was formed in 1953 and whose recommendations were taken into account for the States Reorganization Act 1956? Tabi Sitaramaiah. Because Fazal Ali, K.M. Panikkar and H.N. Kunjuru were the members of Reorganization Act Commission. After independence, in which year were the Indian states reorganized on linguistic basis? 1956. In October 1953, the Government of India created the first linguistic state known as Andhra Pradesh. However, large scale reorganization of the states on the linguistic basis started in the year 1956. The states were reorganized on the basis of language in 1956, which is the first ever state constituted on linguistic basis. Andhra Pradesh in 1953. Option B is correct. Which of the following is the first state in India formed on the basis of language? Andhra Pradesh. In October 1953, Andhra Pradesh was the first state to be created on a linguistic basis by separating the Telugu speaking areas from Madras state. Andhra Pradesh was created as a language based state in 1953. Read the following statements with reference to State Reorganization Commission 1953 and choose the correct option. Justice Fazal Ali, K.M. Panikkar and Hridaynath Kunjuru were its members. Commission supported the splitting of Bombay and Punjab. As per State Reorganization Act 1956 passed by Parliament, 14 states and 6 centrally administered states were made. So option 1 and 3 are correct because commission The State Reorganization Commission was constituted by central government in December 1953 to recommend the reorganization of state boundaries. In September 1955, the commission headed by Justice Fazil Ali, comprising K.M. Panikkar and Hridaynath Kunjuru, submitted its reports. The commission did not support the splitting of Bombay and Punjab. In which year were the Indian states reorganized on the recommendation of States Reorganization Commission? 1956. Option C is correct. The capital of which state has not been renamed after the attainment of freedom? The capital of Andhra Pradesh has not been changed till now after independence, while the names of following capital have been changed. Tamil Nadu from Madras to Chennai, West Bengal from Calcutta to Kolkata, Maharashtra Bombay to Mumbai, Pondicherry to Puducherry, Karnataka Bangalore to Bengaluru, Kerala Trivandrum to Thiruvananthapuram. After the formation of Telangana, Hyderabad became the capital of both the states for 10 years. Through the Andhra Pradesh Decentralization and Inclusive Development of All Regions Act 2020, to enable a decentralized model of governance and to provide an inclusive governance in the state, there shall be three seats of governance in the state of Andhra Pradesh to be called capital under Amravati Metropolitan Region Development Area to be called the legislative capital, Vishakhapatnam Metropolitan Region Development Area to be called Executive Capital, and Kurnool Urban Development Area to be called the Judicial Capital. At present, Amravati is the sole capital of Andhra Pradesh. Which of the following statements is or are true? After the Nagpur session 1920 of Congress, the Provincial Congress Committee were constituted on linguistic basis. In 1948, Congress rejected the demand for formation of provinces on linguistic basis. Both statements are correct. In 1920, Indian National Congress session was held in Nagpur under C. Vijay Raghavacharya. After the Nagpur session of Congress, the Provincial Congress Committee were constituted on linguistic basis. In 1948, the commission was chaired by the S.K. Dhar to investigate the feasibility of organizing states on the linguistic basis. In 1948, Congress founded the JVP committee consisting of Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, and Pattabhi Sitaramaiah to study the recommendations of the Dhar committee. The committee had rejected the proposal of division of states on the basis of language. Thank you.